Welcome to Brainstorming 101. This short tutorial is designed to get you thinking about coming up with a topic that's going to be broad enough to get you plenty of information to write a research paper on it, but isn't so broad that you're overwhelmed. Most people love a slice of pie, but if you sat down to eat the whole pie, it ultimately would be an unenjoyable experience. The same goes for researching. Researching can be fun, especially if you pick a topic you have an interest in. But if you pick a topic that's too broad, you may get so much information that it's overwhelming. Similarly, if you choose a topic that is too narrow or obscure, it can be frustrating as well. Hopefully this video can give you some guidance on how to choose an effective research topic. In introductory psychology, students are allowed to write about any topic they want as long as it has something to do with the field of psychology. Let's say we're interested in exploring the effects that brain injuries have on someone. The first thing that may come to your mind when you think about head or brain injuries is a concussion, especially with the attention sports-related concussions are getting these days. However, concussions are just part of a broader picture. Let's break this topic down. A good way to start brainstorming your topic is to do a search in Wikipedia. While Wikipedia, as exemplified here, is not a reliable source to use when writing your paper, it is useful for getting ideas on how to approach researching a topic. From this article on brain damage, some subtopics have already been introduced. From this particular paragraph, I have now learned that traumatic brain injuries are the most common type of brain injury. I also now know that brain injuries can occur before birth due to a problem during gestation. Let's take a crack at breaking down the topic of brain injuries. From doing some preliminary searching on Google, I found that there are two categories of brain injuries that occur after birth: traumatic brain injuries and non-traumatic brain injuries. Traumatic brain injuries typically occur due to a blow to the head. We can further divide TBIs into specific types such as closed head injuries, which would include concussions, or open head injuries. Non-traumatic brain injuries typically involve an internal malady such as a tumor or stroke, but can also result from substance abuse. Now we're starting to get a more digestible slice of research pie. For this example, let's further explore traumatic brain injuries. Some of the things I would want to report on for a paper on TBIs would be causes, which we've touched on already by listing examples, how TBIs are diagnosed, which would include symptoms, the short-term and long-term effects, and how TBIs can be treated. From this breakdown, let's say we're going to stick with closed head injuries, specifically concussions. We're starting to get at some keywords that we can use to search the library's resources with, like concussion, diagnosis, effects, and treatment. We can further break down concussions by examining how they occur. Some of the more common causes of concussions result from sports, especially high-contact sports. Many children can get concussions from falls on playground equipment, and car accidents are also a major cause of concussions. Since I know that sports-related concussions has had a lot of attention, I feel certain I will be able to find lots of good information on this topic, so I'm going to use that as the focal point of my research. Within that category, I can also think of another possibility of narrowing down the focus: repeated concussions. Athletes in high-contact sports are very susceptible to suffering multiple concussions. It's very likely that multiple concussions can be more dangerous to an athlete than just one. So if I'm still getting an overwhelming amount of results from searching just for concussions, I may want to narrow my focus to searching for articles on multiple concussions. Let's recap. What am I researching? My main topic is concussions in sports, but I also need to know, how do you diagnose them? i.e., what are the symptoms of concussions? What are their effects? How do you treat concussions? And can they be prevented? And if so, how? From these questions, I can now come up with some specific keywords to start searching with. So what do I search for? First, write down your keywords and try to come up with synonyms like this example. This is an important part of the process because some words can be more effective than others. Notice that each keyword is separated by the word "and." Separating each keyword in this way helps the library databases know that these are separate terms or phrases, but each of these terms should be related to every article in the result list. Let's do a quick search in one of the library's online databases. This is an example of one of the library's online databases. Notice that the keywords are typed in just like the example shown earlier. Also notice that a checkbox labeled full text has been clicked. Checking this box guarantees that all articles in the result list can be read in full. To illustrate the effectiveness of coming up with keyword synonyms, I have done 3 searches in this database. For the first search, I used concussions and sports and effects. This search got me 91 results. I feel confident that within this number of articles, I will be able to find enough information on the effects of sports-related concussions. If anything, my research pie may still be too large. Notice that my second search, concussions and athletes and effects, brought back about half the number of articles. Notice that some of the articles overlap. Article 1 is the same in this list as our first list, but some are unique, as is the case with the second result. Hopefully this illustrates to you that using different words which mean the same thing can bring back different results. Think about that if, when using the library's databases, you aren't successful with your first search attempt. Using a synonym for one of these words may make a world of difference. Going back to the size of our pie, if we wanted to further narrow down our result list, we can go back to an idea talked about earlier and focus our topic specifically on articles that deal with athletes who have experienced multiple concussions. Notice the result list is much smaller with this search because we added the concept of multiple or repeated concussions. I hope this video has provided you some insight on how to brainstorm for ideas on a research topic. For more tutorials, access to our online resources, library contact information, and much more, please visit our library website.